Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of UFO Yes! UFO No! UFO Maybe So. I'm John, your host, part of the Cosmic Convergence crew, joined with my other wonderful podcasters, Christian and Daniel, who are joined by their ladies, Josie and Tenny, for a special UFO Yes, No, Maybe So couples edition. Okay, so we're going to get the ladies to chime in here. And first off, I'd like to go ahead and ask my esteemed guests a little bit about themselves. So, Daniel, what are some of your hobbies or some of your interests past the UFO phenomena?
Well, besides UFOs and all that other jazz of the phenomenon, it'd be I love playing video games on my spare time when I can. Back in the day, fun fact, I used to do cosplay. I did Star Wars cosplay and all that stuff when I was during my teen and kind of early 20s, and then kind of phased out and grew up and did adult things. But it's low key one of the things that I still have a special place in my heart, and we love to watch movies together and just hang out. So yeah.
Okay, Tennyson, in your spare time, what are some of your hobbies? If you go name off a few, please.
Well, where we live is kind of close to a lot of like hot springs, so getting out into nature is something that is a big deal, I think, for us. I love dorky romantasy books. I love to read. I used to be a little more artistic. That's kind of phased out at this point in adulthood, but I'd love to get back into it.
Okay. And you do astrology, correct?
Yeah. I've studied astrology for quite some time, and I feel like I still have a lot to learn, but I'm very interested in astrology, yeah.
That's cool. It's a very deep subject. So
Yeah.
Together, you both like to go to hot springs. What else?
I mean, we like to hang out. We like to hang out at the house a lot and just
We're pretty
chill.
introverted.
Yeah. So it's besides her hearing my ramblings daily of our, what content we're talking about or whatever have you, I like to just kind of hang out and on the random times be able to hit a hot spring when we can, and kind of semi boring when it comes to our what we we're not crazy adventure-y, but that also is because right now it's super hot outside for everyone, so I want to stay inside.
All right. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Daniel and Tennyson. All right. Christian and Josie. Chris, aside from the phenomena, what are some of your interests?
Same as Daniel. Big gamer, big nerd. I also like to take things apart, put them back together. So like soldering, taking apart different things, seeing if I could do it, fix it myself so I don't have to pay someone to fix it kind of thing. Tinkering on my computer, video editing, watching anime. I'm a big anime fan. And as well as other TV shows and stuff like that. But that's me in a nutshell. I'm very introverted, but I do go out.
Cool. Josie, how about yourself? Tell us about yourself.
I like to be outside. So I want to be in nature or on my deck or
touching grass.
Watching grass? Watching it grow?
Grass.
Oh, yeah, touching grass. I mean, I could watch the grass grow too. I like learning things in my own way. And I mean, I do art. That's not as much a hobby as it is a profession. But really shopping.
What do you two like to do together?
We bond over food.
Yeah, we always bond over food and stuff like that.
Food and good TV, good movies.
If we do go out, we go out to events and stuff like that. So like typical stuff. So like the fireworks on the 4th of July, we went out to like this whole kind of venue thing that was happening.
That was a disaster, but
yeah.
We like to do festivals, concerts, nature walks, try new restaurants.
we're going to a concert this week.
Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. Well, thank you both for telling us your passions. You as well, Tenny.
Denny.
That's a new nickname for you both. That's a new nickname for you both, Denny. Denny Moore. No. Tenny and Daniel. Thank you. And I'm John. My counterpart is not with us today, but hopefully soon she will join us. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Of course, for any new viewers, we're going to be showing some footage. It's not always UFOs. Sometimes I'll throw some cryptids in there, and our contestants have to vote yes, that is real, no, it's not, or maybe so, just unsure. Christian, Josie, the footage we just watched. Christian first. What do you think about that?
It looked legitimate to me. It looked like a TikTok / disc-shaped object that was flying by really quick. Had the same movements. I mean, it's a bit blurry, but at the same time, it's moving so fast, and you're on an airplane, you can't really follow it out of a window, so you only have like that little space to look at, but based on what I saw, I would say it looked legitimate to me.
So a yes.
Yes.
Okay. Josie.
That's a hard yes.
Hard yes. Okay. Why?
I mean, I'm sorry. It's not a balloon. It's not a drone. It's not the way it's moving way too fast. And to me, I actually saw more of like a subtle saucer shape.
Okay.
That's, to me, it just looks undeniable. Unless, of course, the video isn't real. If the video is real, absolutely, that's UFO or UAP or whatever.
Okay. So a yes from both Christian and Josie. Okay, thank you very much. Daniel and Tennyson. Daniel.
Yeah, so for that footage, for what it was, how it was recording, how it kind of zoomed across, I mean, there wasn't any discrepancies with moving around, like a bad motion track or anything. I mean, I would have to need more information on it, but I mean, overall, like, I think it's a yes for me on that one. It looks legit.
Okay, thank you. Tennyson.
I'm gonna say maybe so, because it looks, I definitely believe there's something there. I don't think it's a manipulated video, but for me it's hard to gauge if it's something moving or if it's something stationary as the plane is moving, however fast it's going. So I feel like I would need a little more information to like fully commit, so I'm gonna say maybe so.
I'd just like to add that one point that you brought up, Tennyson, is that you don't know if the object is moving or whether it's the movement from the plane, perhaps.
Yeah.
And while that being a valid question, a valid argument, for me personally, even if it wasn't, I don't think that matters too much. Some people might say, well, that's, because it's white, it's a balloon, because of the heat, it's trying to a solar balloon. And for me personally, I suppose so, but probably not. I'm thinking myself UAP for sure, and I'm thinking Tic Tac. And I know that like the 5 observables is a big thing. Lou Elizondo brought out the 5 observables. As far as showing movement and, quick turns and speed and all that other jazz. But I still hold on to the point to where if it's a UAP or UFO, it can travel or not travel as much or as little as it wants to. It can sit stationary or it can zoom around.
It also passed the plane.
Exactly.
Which is weird.
Okay.
It did. Like, I think that what Tennyson said is valid about, because sometimes perspective can make certain things look like they're moving when they're not, or certain things look like they're standing still when they're moving. So I totally get that. But the way it looks to me, it was like, see ya, and it passed the plane.
Okay, very famous, what's called the Patterson footage. Very old and famous Bigfoot footage, what really set off the Bigfoot rage. And it's still reverberating today as we speak. Yeah, I think it's eternal myself personally. All right, Tennyson. We're going to start with Tennyson and Daniel. I almost called you Dennison again. Tennyson, what do you think about the footage? It was the original footage, and then the second part was stabilized, which has just recently come out.
I know that this is iconic footage. I know it's been around for a while. I can't remember if it's been debunked or not, but it looks legit to me, and I choose to believe in Bigfoot, where there's like, I believe that he's out there. If this particular video is true or not, I don't have the tools to make an educated opinion, but just looking at it, I think it's legit.
Okay, so yes?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, okay. Daniel.
With the footage, as you know, it's world famous. I think that since we're still having this conversation, it kind of shows how it holds up. It's very similar to, with our special that'll be coming out soon about the Skinny Bob, footage. It's like, it's always kind of circulating and it's always out there. I would say yes on this one. This is a legitimate footage of Bigfoot or Sasquatch. So,
all right, excellent. So Daniel and Tennyson with a yes. Christian and Josie. Josie, chime in for me.
It's going to be a no, Bob. No.
No? Okay.
That is a human man with a dump truck in a gorilla suit.
Okay.
That doesn't, I'm sorry, that's not, no. It might be old and iconic, but no.
Okay. All right. Hey, and that's what we're here about, to say yes, no, or maybe so. So that's a no for Josie. Christian.
For me, I'm going to say maybe so, only because I've seen the footage before, like the original, without the stabilization. and there's still a lot that I don't know surrounding it because I never looked into it that deeply, so I'm not sure. Although I did see key aspects that were interesting, like the feet looked a certain way, but at the same time, type of camera, it could, like, from her perspective, be someone in a gorilla suit. I don't think it is, because who's gonna take a gorilla suit out into the forest? But I mean, it can happen.
People do weird things.
I guess, but like, just because I don't have enough data to go off of.
You know, there's been analysis. This footage has been analyzed up, down, left, right, every direction imaginable by human beings. And so if anybody out there in the audience wants to research it or chime in on the comments about this Bigfoot Patterson footage, okay, it's known as Patterson footage, wants to comment about any of the findings, whether you're on the debunker side or the skeptic side, because debunkers, it's all fake, doesn't matter what it is, or the believer side, go ahead and put in your comments. But there's been a lot of research about this, and they're finding that the stride that the Bigfoot has is not able to be accomplished by a human being, as far as where the joints are, and don't quote me on any of this stuff, but and it's also, it appears to be female. So I know that there was some jokes about a dump truck butt, and that's fine, but let's not be sexist here against Bigfoots. You know, I mean, beautiful, all the same.
I wasn't being sexist. I was admiring a fat ass.
The junk in the
what that was.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
No offense to Bigfoot.
My vote in this episode, my vote does not count, but I'm going to say yes on it. That's all I'm going to say. But I encourage people to do research on this subject, especially this footage. It's very, very well done.
And remember, Susan Gerbic, if you're wanting to come after John, me, or Tenny for believing in Bigfoot, you know, because everyone that believes in Bigfoot is a complete loony, you know exactly where to add us at. So, yeah.
Bruh.
Look, there's something flying through the air. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
Yo, what the fuck?
Aliens!
Yo.
I want to let you know that the first clip, these are two separate clips. First clip was taken, I believe, in Texas during the last eclipse, okay, when a lot of people that are involved in ufology and others were saying, hey, you know what? Who knows what we're going to see in the sky during the eclipse? The second one, okay, I am unsure of the location and whether or not that happened during the eclipse. But interesting, to say the least, all the way around. So we're going to go back to Christian and Josie about this. Christian, your thoughts? Yes, no, maybe so.
I would say yes. I think, and maybe Daniel can back me up or correct me on this when it's his go, but I feel like going through those clouds and trying to edit something like that would be really hard to do, just because of how, like, when it's going through the clouds or it's above the clouds or something, or in between them, there's like different shades of shadow that's happening when it's moving across. It also didn't have the shape of a plane. You didn't see any wings. Also the movement, the way it moves was just like, yeah, it was just abnormal a little bit, like a little too fast than a way a plane would go. From ground level to eye level, usually you see a plane, it's moving, you know, it's going like that. This was more like a out of here, you know. And then you don't see anything, the first one, you don't see anything after the clouds end, it like disappears. So that was a little strange. Maybe it was cloaked, but somehow with the technology, I don't know.
Or like you said, they parked it.
Yeah, or they parked it behind the clouds, like, stopped. Like they pulled a Han Solo maneuver or something.
All right, thank you. So a yes, Christian?
Yes, for me. Yeah.
Excellent.
For both
excellent.
of them. I think they were both legit.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Josie?
Yes. I mean,
Yes.
yes, as in no. I mean, like you said my name, and I'm like, yes, but not.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
that's a maybe.
What's
so
your
to me.
verdict? What's your
Maybe
verdict
so.
on those two videos? Maybe so. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I overspoke on you. Why maybe so?
I don't know. When I look at it, I can't say definitively it's a UAP or UFO, as in ETs or interdimensional beings were piloting that craft, or that it was a craft. I just know that was something. I just know it was something that wasn't, man-made.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it was the shadow just looked, I don't know. I felt like it was more, I feel like it was more interdimensional than it would have been physical.
Okay.
Just,
So I'm
yeah.
so I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm kind of getting mixed messages on this one.
Sorry.
So what you're saying? No, that's okay, because we look at this footage, or we're out there when we actually see it, okay, and we're trying to make sense of it all, and that's normal. So you're saying that you're not sure whether it's a UFO or UFO stands for unidentified flying object,
Which I guess it would be.
Which, technically, but we understand what you're saying. You don't know if it's really alien or interdimensional, but then at the same time, you're saying you feel like humans didn't make it, and then it might be interdimensional. So
what I can't seem to tell from it is I don't know if it's a craft or a being itself. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Okay.
So like a being, like maybe, have you ever seen the movie Nope?
Nope.
Oh, nope. It's a good movie, by the way. I won't give any spoilers, but it's something along those lines. Okay, so a maybe so?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay, so a yes for Christian and a maybe so for Josie. Daniel, what do you think about both footages? Because they're the same, so that's why we paired them together.
Yeah, for this one, I mean, I've seen it before on TikTok. It got really big. I think my consensus about it is just maybe so. I would need more data. Would need, first of all, to know if there was something flying over, because you can check that data would be great. Also to compare footage with other flyovers with aircraft and see if the shadow, if they're flying like, if they're flying directly over, like in the sun's, as it's like coming down the clouds, if it's going to show like a faint shadow or anything like that, that's even a thing. We just need more information to go off of, but it's really hard to say if it's just like a parallax effect from a craft, or if it is a UFO or some being or something like that. I would just do maybe so for me.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Tennyson.
I'm in the same boat where I would say maybe so. I would want to check the flight records for that area for that time and see if there's any logical explanation, because it doesn't look like manipulated video to me. I think there's definitely something flying. I just would be hesitant to say what exactly it is that's flying without doing more research.
Also
fair
looks
enough.
really long.
It does seem long. So we've got a maybe so for both Daniel and Tennyson. We've got a maybe so for Josie, and we have a yes for Christian. And I'm going to say that I have seen the shadows of planes going over me or close by, and I have seen shadows, and then I'm talking about on the ground, not in the sky. I have seen those shadows cast wings, very faintly, but enough. But that all depends on what the elevation is, and I'm unsure of the elevation of this object that was going through the clouds on both clips. I do agree with Christian that the speed seems to be a little off from what a plane would be. Seen planes going through the sky, and like you said, Christian, it's kind of like, it's almost like they're moving really slow. Now we know they're not, but it always seems like from our vantage point that they're going pretty slow. Whereas these, I mean, it's fairly obvious that they're going quite fast. And as far as what Josie said about possibly being interdimensional, that is something to consider, because it seems to be casting a shadow, but you don't really see an object. So is it in between the dimensions? I mean, it's all speculation, right? But is it in between dimensions? Is it a way of cloaking or something like that? Which that's what I'm thinking it probably is. We don't know, because again, it's unidentified, which is the classic definition of UFO. But I personally, I think both are legit. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's go with Josie. Josie, start off with that footage. What do you think?
What else could that be? What else could that be? I mean, that's a yes to me. That's a hard yes.
Okay. Why?
I mean, like, what else could it be? There's nothing in my mind that's coming up that reminds me of anything that's a natural phenomenon here on Earth that is man-made. What?
It's like glitter.
We just don't have. I don't know. And it's not. I think these have been seen in Asheville as well. But I think it's like, don't quote me on that either. But I feel like, because I've heard of lights like these, and I also remember seeing several videos on TikTok around the solar eclipse where many people were getting these. I've also seen a video several years ago where these lights were over someone's concert. And I mean, unless I'm misinformed, drones don't do that. Well,
You could do that.
no, they do. They can. I still think it's a yes.
Okay. Hey, and
Yeah.
that's fine. That's fine.
I'm
You got to
going
go
with
with your
yes.
guts. You got to go with your gut sometimes, right? Your gut
Yeah.
tells you yes, and so yes. Very, very good. Christian.
Yeah, that's a yes for me. Seeing things like that, having friends with footage showing things like that. You can even see how they move a little bit. That same weird, abnormal movement. And it's not that I haven't seen drones before. I've seen drones fly, but it just looks different. There is a difference. So I think that, and not only that, but there were lights just like that over in New York City when I was living in New York. Just like that.
New York City, get a rope.
Yeah. Everybody was looking up in the middle of the city. Everybody stopped
Wait,
in the
did you
street.
see it?
No, I was mad. I wasn't there. It was
Oh.
downtown. I tried to see it from where I was, but it was downtown, and the video just showed everybody looking up at the sky, making a triangular formation. Just like these lights blinking, showing up, moving a little bit.
To me, it's like they're putting on a show, but it's not a person trying to trick people.
Yeah.
I don't get the feeling that this is a person trying to trick people
Yeah.
with drones.
So two
yes.
yeses. All right, two yeses. Christian with the yes, Josie with the yes. Thank you for your votes. Let's see, Daniel.
Yeah, so for this one, I would say a hard yes. This reflects what has been talked about by government and ex-military. I believe, John, I don't know if you can find that later and put it on screen. The array that they have, that is a pattern for those orbs. And that seems to match up with the same kind of triangle. Then it has like a tail almost, and you can see later that there's a bunch of them actually. And I also want to call back to as well with nebulous footage as well. They reflected some of those same shapes. So I think it just tracks very keenly with other orb videos or footage that we've seen going back decades. So that also throws into question if it's just drones. How could they have drones back in the 60s or even the 50s? That footage we've gone over before.
Okay. All right, so yes for Daniel. Tennyson.
I think for me, this one is a maybe so, leaning more to a yes, because
Maybe
it looks like I would want to rule out it being drones. I would want to do some more research because it kind of looks like drones to me. Or I know that with specific like Air Force drills, they use like glitter stuff for infrared. I don't know enough about it to have an educated opinion.
Ooh, I know what
So
you're talking
I would say maybe so, leaning to yes, because if it's not drones, I don't know what it would be. I have no idea. And like Daniel said, it does look very, very similar to other footage that I've seen. So I'm gonna say maybe so, but leaning towards yes. For the sake of Team Danny, I'll say yes.
Okay. Well, Team Danny, it's going to be a maybe so and a yes. Okay. For Team Christian and Josie, it's going to be 2 yeses. I'd like to point out that this is kind of similar to I believe it was in the first episode when it was recorded by somebody in England, where the lights were like flickering. It's almost like glitter in the clouds, if you will. Would I also kind of be like, I know I've seen nighttime footage of something that's similar, and it always seems like it's like a space battle or something. It's just very interesting. And what Josie had said earlier was very astute. It's like they're trying to put on a show, which Grant Cameron and others in ufology have stated that a lot of times these craft are seen into the sky, or these light beings or whatever they might be, are just doing it for the purpose of a show and nothing else, to gather your attention, to make you question, to raise your consciousness just in a wow, what is that kind of perspective. Christian.
I want more information, but I think it's legit. Legit.
And why is that?
The way it's moving, got that kind of like Tenny was saying, it's that spooky movement. There's something abnormal about it, the way it moves. It's like, yes, we have drones that can move at that speed, but at the same time, you could tell it's not like hovering because of propellers, you know what I mean? It has like a different feel to it. So I think it's more. I think this is a legitimate one.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Chris. Yes for Christian. Daniel.
Well, this is a really cool hubcap. But I think the shape's interesting. It does remind me of the wedding cake UFO a little bit. So I think the interesting part about it is not necessarily how it's flying or anything like that, but they show kind of where they're filming, and then they show a farther out shot of it. And this thing is like out there. It's way out there. This is not even like them where they could climb onto a tree and like fish line it. They're showing like a kind of like a valley gulf, and like that is far away mountains right there, probably like a mile or two away, and that's like kind of out there. So it'd be really hard to just fake that like necessarily with like something physical. Like, you know, a lot of people have said about certain UFO shots that people have, shared around that are fishing line, on a tree type thing. So
Fishing line on the clouds.
Right. I would say I'm going to go with maybe on this one. I think overall it's the way it's flying is interesting. I think it's just would need to go off of more data if possible of kind of it. So I'm going to go with maybe.
Okay. So a yes from Christian, a maybe from Daniel. Let's see, Josie.
I mean, if that were a drone, it had to have been made in the 50s because it looks like, I feel like it looks like something out of the Jetsons. Like what they think our technology would have looked at around this time. So that's something for sure, though. That is, unless it were doctored, that's a yes.
Okay. So a yes. All right. Excellent. Thank you. Tennyson.
The responsible part of me wants to say, I just need to do more research, but to me, that's a yes. That made my hair stand up. That thing is spooky. I don't like it. I think it's a yes.
So I'd have to say here that what's interesting about this footage to me is that the object is not rotating. It's not spinning. It's very stationary. It's kind of floating. And it is definitely far away. It's not on a wire, and I don't think it's an early drone. Some would say, well, maybe it's like an experimental drone or something that somebody put together and they just put a shell casing over it that looked like a UFO, because it kind of looks like a hubcap. I mean, it really does. And it does kind of look like, as you had said, Josie, like something from the Jetsons. I was thinking, and something like from the 50s or the 60s, and there's still a few buildings in existence across America to where it's like the Space Hotel, and it's all kind of like Jetsoned out and everything. And those are kind of retroly cool. But it does have that classic like 1950s, 1960s UFO look to it. But who's to say that's probably a design for whatever. It could be a design from whatever entity group that might be flying it. So we shouldn't.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, maybe they like the classic models too, like we like classic cars.
And that's possible too. I mean, if it's a technology that we don't have, I mean, who knows what they need to use for it? Is it conscious? So is it consciousness, which is why so many different objects or so many different UFOs exist, that they're just a projection of their consciousness. So it's not really a mechanical object. It's just what we see. It's just what they're wanting us to see it as. That's possible. There's a growing conversation about that. So, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting footage to say the least. It kind of reminds me of the UFO Yes, No, Maybe So that we did with All Things Unexplained, with the one that was taken in Mexico, where it's kind of hovering there, and then it boink, bounces away, where it's kind of like that old like 50s kind of 60s style UFO. It's interesting footage. Creepy. It's going to get you. It's going to get you. wow, right? That's my first reaction. I'll go ahead and say just my first reaction was, no way, right? Like, no way. Like, imagine being the pilot of this little, like, I don't know, twin engine or whatever, single engine plane, and you're just do, and you're like, huh, what? But he had his phone out, and people would say, well, how would he know that he had, that these things were going on? And, and I'm not trying to go over your guys' answers or anything beforehand, but just me personally, it's like, well, people have their cell phones out all the time. How do we know that these didn't zip past him beforehand? That's information I'm just putting out there that I do not have, okay, on whether or not these objects went past this pilot before they got their cell phone out, okay? To me, that's unimportant. That's unimportant, whether or not. The importance is that purportedly this pilot captured this on his phone or her phone, okay? So we're gonna go. We're gonna go with Tennyson on this one to start. Tennyson.
I am going to say yes. I think it doesn't look manipulated to me, and I think it makes sense when, like, I know with the whistleblower Congress testimonies, they had mentioned that Air Force pilots see things all the time that they can't explain. I'm going to assume that this pilot had them zipping around him for a while, and that's why he got his phone out, because that's what makes sense to me. But I have no idea what else it could be. I feel like in the very last part, when they come back in formation, you can see the clouds being, I can't quite tell if it almost looks to me like the clouds are also moving and it's affecting the background, which maybe not actually. Just kind of up in the corner, see where that's...
It just might be
maybe it's
the
just
quality
the quality
of
of
the
the camera.
Yeah.
Either way, though, it's a yes for me, because it makes no sense otherwise. If it's not manipulated, I don't know what would cause that.
Fair enough. Thank you, Tennyson. Daniel.
This is a hard yes for me. I mean, just with the way, piggybacking off of what she said, of like, these probably saw these zipping around him quite beforehand, before he started filming, because he kind of he pokes his camera out, because you can tell that he's probably looking at seeing that they're coming in, and then he's trying to get them on camera. And they're also seem to be chasing each other, so they're just probably zipping around having fun. But I think it's also, as again, Mr. Cameron has talked about, is the wow factors they're probably showing off for him, and they're getting very close to the airplane. And this is very, very close. This would not be another airplane. This was not birds. They're zipping fairly close to him. So if I was him, I'd probably either change my pants when I get back landing, with how close they're getting to him. But yeah, it's just really interesting. And the fact that, so one detail I wanted to point out too, the first one, it's longer, and the short one has like a kind of a pointed edge, and then it has the back of it's a little thicker. And then when it zips back along with it, it's the same size kind of. So there's not, it seems to be consistent with both those craft. So they look like they're different ones for sure. But I don't know if the other one's a drone or whatnot. But yeah, anyway, super interesting. Hard yes. So hard yes from our team.
Team Denny, hard yes. Team Chosy. All right, Christian and Josie.
Right.
Team Chosy.
No.
Let's go with Josie first. Josie.
Yeah, I think it's real. Yeah, I think it's legit, and I think that those are definitely craft. I think they're ET craft.
Okay.
It's really clear when you don't slow it down and you just watch it through
real time.
yeah, it's they're flying and they're having fun. There's no way it's not that's not another plane. There's how fast they're going. How that is so fast. Like, I'm really bad at math, but I feel like somebody who's really, really great at math and possibly could be told the speed that the plane is going, that the pilot who's filming this, I think that they could possibly work out distance and things to figure out how fast they were going. And I guarantee you that's more than what would break the sound barrier.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
way
I wouldn't
over.
ask you. So a yes for Josie, and I don't think that Mr. Kirkpatrick would be able to. He'd say something about their Mylar balloons, but anyway, I'm going to digress on that one. Christian.
Yeah, hard yes on this one for me. I also agree that he probably, I say he because it said his mobile phone in the video, but he probably saw them beforehand. And the reason I say this is because if they weren't flying around him, it's weird already that they're doubling back. Like, you see them go in that direction, then they go around. They might have been doing that for a little bit, and he's like, holy shit, if I survive this, I need to capture it on camera. This is crazy. And they're flying so fast. They're kind of like that, either cigar or disc shaped. Again, that could be obscured a little bit because they're moving so fast. It looks like a blur almost, but that's what I think it is. And that might be, from his perspective, pretty scary at first because, like, you're in a sea of clouds. You don't know where they're going to come from, especially with they're moving that fast. But I think that's real.
If we go frame by frame, which is what the slow motion is, frame by frame, you still can't make the detail out of these things. Now, some would say, well, that's just because they digitally just went. No, they're definite objects. They're definite objects. It's not just like some like graphical blur that they're just moving to go fast on that. Daniel, you're more the video editing guy and the CGI guy. But I don't see that. What I see is definite quick movement. That is, they're going so fast, and this would, again, I'm no mathematician, just like Josie here, so I wouldn't be able to go with the rate. I don't know what kind of plane the pilot is flying. It's probably nothing that's overly high tech. But if someone could probably just identify what kind of plane it is by the propellers and the nose, right? So it's definitely that there's definitely I do agree that they've probably been going around the pilot several times. And that's given the opportunity to bring out the cell phone because the pilot looks like they're not really sure where they're going to come next. And if you're flying a plane, you can't be like, okay, well, hold on, let me turn around, because you got to keep your eyes in front of you in some way. So this is your option. This is your option. Maybe 180, right? It would be the only option.
Well, and again, in the beginning of it, he also the camera moves as he's kind of watching, as he's seeing them come in. So right. I think he was keeping an eye on him the whole time. So he must have started it mid encounter.
My couples did well, thank you. It's good to hear how much you agree or how might you disagree. But everybody was very nice and cordial, and I do appreciate it. And I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And to the viewers, I hope you had fun as well. Please post in the comments what you think about all the footage, individual clips. I'm always interested to find out your feedback. And like, share, subscribe. We'll be doing more UFO yes, no's, maybe so's, including more interviews. We are experiencers, and we're not going to stop delving deeply into the phenomena. There is something there, and it is trying to talk to us. So let's open our minds and open our communications and speak back, because it's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bad monkey.
We're pioneering the world's most expansive, phenomenon-based database and research platform. Imagine a single gateway that harnesses the collective intelligence of our world. A portal that compiles every encounter, every academic study, and the full spectrum of data concerning remarkable phenomena. Meticulously curated and interconnected through advanced artificial intelligence, our platform transforms scattered information across the web and in physical print into a cohesive matrix of knowledge. Paradocs aims to bring all this content into one searchable, dynamic database. We're not only hosting the world's largest collection of phenomenon-related content, but also helping empower our users to find critical connections between diverse topics, from UFOs and alien abductions to near-death experiences and reincarnation reports.